I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will.
Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping 2 divisions.
No way against lesser competition. He knocks them the hell out. Canelo doesn't finish these guys, and he doesn't look good beating them. Shout out to the judges. The judges make Canelo
Andre
look good.
Ward has high praise for Terence Crawford, calling him one of boxing's greatest finishers. Ward believes that Crawford's ability to sense weakness and immediately capitalize on it is what sets him apart from most fighters. When Crawford sees his opponent hurt, he doesn't let them off the hook. Ward explains. He applies relentless pressure, throws sharp combinations, and his timing is nearly perfect until the fight is over. According to Ward, this killer instinct makes Crawford dangerous at any point in a fight, and a major threat to someone like Canelo Alvarez. While judges often seem to favor Canelo, Ward warns that against a fighter like Crawford, one mistake or moment of vulnerability could lead to a sudden and devastating end.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Andre Ward has voiced his deep respect for both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as they prepare for their highly anticipated showdown. To Ward, this isn't just another big-money fight. It's a legacy-defining battle between 2 elite champions that he emphasizes the courage it takes for fighters of their caliber, who have already achieved so much, to step into the ring and risk everything. These are the kinds of matchups that elevate the sport. Ward explains. When 2 greats put their reputations on the line, it reminds us what boxing is all about. Ward believes this fight represents the very best of boxing, skill, heart, and legacy on the line, and he admires both fighters' unwavering commitment to the sport and to greatness.
Man, what's up, fight fans? It's official. I'm going to be the 3rd man ringside calling the Canelo Alvarez Terence Crawford fight September 13th at Allegiant Stadium. I'm excited to be a part of this event. I'm excited to be ringside calling this great card and this great matchup. Historic event for many, many reasons for both fighters. Super middleweight supremacy on the line, legacies on the line, your namesake and reputation is on the line. And I just take my hat off to both of these fighters for putting everything on the line late in their careers the way that they are. This is rare, and it's becoming more and more rare in boxing. Guys don't want this kind of smoke. They really don't want to face another counterpart that can ruin everything that they've built. And it really don't matter how much money's on the table for a lot of guys. They'd rather take a lesser risk for less money than to risk everything like these 2 fighters are doing. So I take my hat off to them. And I also want to give a shout out to Turki Al-Sheikh for all that he's done to put this fight on. Dana White for all that he's done to put this fight on. And one more person that stays out the way and you don't really hear a lot about, but that has done a lot to make this fight happen as well. And that's my brother, Nick Khan. He just gets stuff done, man. And I want to thank him and shout him out as well for getting this done. So I'll see y'all in Vegas, man. Part of me wants to be home watching this fight in street clothes, but I got to take the street clothes off. I got work to do. I got to put that suit on, get ringside with John and Max, and call this fight like I know we can. Huge event, huge implications, historic night, and I'm happy to be a part. I hope to see you in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. If not, man, tune in live on Netflix.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia recently shared his thoughts on Canelo Alvarez, expressing concern that the Mexican superstar hasn't looked as sharp in recent performances. Garcia noted a noticeable decline in Canelo's hand speed and footwork, suggesting that he no longer poses the same level of danger he did in his prime. For a precision-based fighter like Terence Crawford, who thrives on timing, angles, and adaptability, Garcia's observations could be telling. He believes that if Canelo can't regain his former sharpness, Crawford will have a real opportunity to impose his style and take control of the fight. Garcia's comments echo a growing sentiment among boxing analysts that Canelo may be past his physical peak, and that could be the opening Crawford needs to secure a defining victory.
Jumping 2 divisions where he only had 1 fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
appreciate it.
Veteran boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has voiced concerns over Canelo Alvarez's training approach as he prepares for his highly anticipated bout with Terence Crawford. Atlas believes that Canelo may be overdoing it in camp, potentially pushing himself beyond what's necessary for peak performance specifically. Atlas questioned the decision to bring in Jaron Ennis, a young, explosive welterweight, as part of Canelo's preparation. While Ennis offers a high level of speed and intensity, Atlas argues that adding such a demanding sparring partner might do more harm than good. Training smart is just as important as training hard, Atlas emphasized. He warns that by trying to fine-tune every detail, Canelo could end up draining himself physically and mentally before the Real fight begins, a costly mistake when facing a sharp, adaptive fighter like Crawford. Atlas's critique raises a larger question. Is Canelo's desire to cover every base actually putting him at a disadvantage?
So I avoided that. I would bring in specific sparring partners that, A, knew how to be a sparring partner. Yeah, if I wanted something, I went over to him before the day started. Listen, I want you to do this. All right. I'm paying him. I have the right to do that. I want you to move more today. I want you to, I want you to press him a lot. You know what? There was a fight I was getting a guy ready for, and I was worried about the first couple rounds. So I said, when the bell rings, I want you to rush out of the corner and go right after him. And I was, obviously I had my guy ready because we were getting ready for that kind of fight plan, for the possibility that the opponent would come out that way. So I wouldn't look to get a boots Ennis. I mean, nothing wrong with that's what they want. That's fine. And I get it, the style, the size, the length. I understand. It's not a bad pick from that point of view. But for me, again, I never go down that road because I got my guy getting ready for a fight. I don't want to leave it in the gym. I don't want to get into that kind of war in the gym. No, I want to have control of all aspects of what the hell I'm doing in the gym to get ready for one night. So no, I wouldn't do that. I'd get the right spar partners. If I thought I had a guy, I get guys that my guy could work with, and if he was having an off day, he could kind of, have his way and do what he wanted with the guy. I'd have one of them. I'd probably have 3 guys, sometimes 4, depending on where we were at, with the calendar when the fight was coming.
One of the key narratives heading into the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown is Canelo's enduring punching power. Even when his speed or mobility appears diminished, his ability to land devastating shots keeps opponents on high alert. Many fighters who face Canelo spend much of the fight in survival mode, prioritizing defense over offense. This often leads to fights going the distance, not because Canelo lacks the ability to finish, but because his opponents are too cautious to give him the openings he needs. However, that strategy may not work against someone like Terence Crawford. Throughout his career, Crawford has shown an elite ability to break down overly defensive fighters. He sets traps, creates openings with subtle movement, and unleashes sudden bursts of offense that turn the tide in his favor.
And a lot has been taken out of you in the gym. You left it in the gym. And we heard that Jaron Boots Ennis was getting the best of Canelo Alvarez in his sparring sessions. That he possibly gave him a black eye. We saw the knot on his head. That was just a week ago. The fight is next week, next Saturday. So 3 weeks out from the fight, and you having this hard sparring sessions with Jaron Boots Ennis, who wants to prove a point. Leave no doubt. Jaron Ennis is going into those sparring sessions not just to be a sparring partner, but to gauge where he stands against a legend and a Hall of Famer and a superstar like Canelo Alvarez, to understand where he can get better and understand that he can actually compete on that level. So make no mistake about it. Jaron Boots Ennis wasn't in there to lay down. Now, he had a job to do. He was there for a specific reason, which is to give Canelo looks that Terence Crawford could possibly give him. But you best believe, in those sparring sessions, he gonna give what he have. He gonna test the waters to see where he stands, right? Not just to help Canelo, not just to be a dummy. There's a reason you bring in a high-profile fighter. And so Teddy Atlas believes this is a huge mistake on Canelo Alvarez's part, because now he has possibly left it in the gym. And now he got to go into battle with Terence Crawford. So it's like having two fights in a matter of 3 weeks. And your body's going to show the wear and tear.
While Canelo Alvarez has maintained his winning streak, many analysts have raised doubts about the quality of his recent victories. Rather than the dominant knockouts that defined his prime, his latest wins have often resembled tactical grindouts, relying more on size and physical strength than sharp, precise boxing. In contrast, Terence Crawford brings a far more diverse skill set to the ring. His slick punching, ability to switch stances seamlessly, exceptional ring IQ, and fluid footwork challenge even the toughest opponents. Where Canelo tends to lean heavily on his power and physicality, Crawford's layered arsenal allows him to control the pace and rhythm of the fight. This clear contrast in styles and attributes has led many experts to give Crawford the edge, despite Canelo's storied reputation and impressive achievements.
And no, for sure. I mean, we all see that fucking Canelo got power. That's the same reason why, at the same time, Canelo ends up going a distance with a lot of these guys, because these guys are just on survivor mode, you know? They're not trying to fight back. They're not trying to win. They're just surviving, which is hard to knock somebody out that's just surviving, you know? So I feel like Canelo's power is definitely there. I just think it's just a matter of how Crawford reacts when he feels it, you know? Is he gonna be one of those survivors, or is he gonna actually, you know?
No, I think Crawford will go out on his shield. I think he's gonna fight and go out like a warrior.
At the same time, I feel like he does that, then it gives Canelo a chance to be able to clip him, you know? More of a chance.
Well, Turkey said no more Tom and Jerry. I don't expect him to run.
I mean, I don't expect him to run, but at the same time, it's boxing, you know? It's boxing, it's hit and don't get hit, swim and not get wet.
Is that what Haney did when he fought Jose
Ramirez?
Ramirez?
But that's a different type of.
Is that what William Skoll did when he fought Canelo?
Yeah, I feel like it just comes. I feel like when you watch Bivol versus Better Beef, the second fight, that's great boxing right there.
Gabe Rosado leans toward Canelo Alvarez in this matchup, largely because of Canelo's extensive experience on boxing's biggest stages. Rosado highlights that from early in his career, Canelo has consistently faced elite opponents under immense pressure, building a resume filled with high-stakes moments. In contrast, this fight would mark Terence Crawford's first time competing on such a massive global platform. While Rosado respects Crawford's skill set, he believes that when the stakes are this high, experience is crucial. For that reason, Rosado gives the edge to Canelo, trusting in his proven ability to perform under pressure in big fights.
He knocks him the hell out. Canelo doesn't finish these guys, and he doesn't look good beating them. You know, shout out to the judges. The judges make Canelo look good for the past 6 fights. And so now we sit here, you know, what is Canelo going to do against Crawford? And while some of you are saying, you know, domination and weight, really the only thing that I hear is his weight, his power, his weight, his power, his weight, his power. And that's all that he has. But when I get to talking about Crawford, we'll dive into that.
Well, to Byron's point, the last super quality fight that Canelo had was against Dimitri Bivol, and we all know what happened with that. You know,
no, I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent. I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent.
Well, it was Caleb Plant, then it was Bivol.
Yeah, right.
Plant, then Bivol.
Well, don't forget to point out that Bivol came down right?
No,
that was
Canelo
175. He went
Oh,
up.
Canelo went up.
Canelo went up.
So that kind of puts Canelo at a disadvantage, right? He tested.
Yeah,
he's
I mean, if you
tested
want to
to
say
be
that,
great.
if you want to say that,
I mean, you know,
I can.
But I mean, I'm not saying that that's
Yeah.
an excuse for him for losing. I'm just saying, hey, you know, if you're gonna test yourself to be great, you gotta wear the consequence.
So let me ask. So no, you're right, 100%. But let me ask you a question. I'm just asking because I don't know. Like, so when you watching that fight, did you think it was a weight issue, or did you think it was more of a skill and boxing thing when watching that fight with Bivol and Canelo?
I thought he was
skill.
outclassed.
I agree. Yeah, it was skill.
outclassed.
And it looked like he was being outclassed by basic fundamental boxing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that was my point. That's what I'm trying. I don't think Bivol's weight had anything to do with him because Bivol's not a knockout artist.
And this legendary power that y'all speak of, this ass-taking Zeus god power that he has, it did not show.